I always receive requests for working on splits, specifically straddle splits, because I know those are a tough one for most people. So what I'm going to try to do today is give people a very short, repetitive sequence that they can do to develop their straddle splits. It takes time. Little tiny increments of progress will start to show with consistent repetition of the work. So that being said, I recommend that you grab, if you have bolsters in your space, get a bolster or two. If you don't have bolsters, a couple of stacked blankets or the pillows from your bed or from the back of your couch would work. And then I also have a couple of blankets for padding when my knee is on the ground. You can work with a mat. I'm just not going to today because I want to be able to slide and move around a little bit without the limitation of a mat. So I'm going to start standing, but I'll separate my feet a little wide and turn the toes out. Bring the arms long by your side, roll your shoulders back and down. Take an inhale as the arms reach high. On exhale, bring your palms through chest center and squat down. We'll start with a little malasana, and I'm going to keep it quite wide. If you need a little support, you're welcome to bring your fingertips to the ground. If your heels are lifted, that's fine. Give yourself the support, or you can always slide one of your blankets as thick as you need it to be under your heels for a little bit of support. So see if that gives you a little more stability. And then I'm bringing my elbows to my inner thighs, letting my tailbone drop down, and just letting this be a starting place for a few rounds of breath. Take one more. Release your fingertips toward the ground. We'll start to lift, slide your blanket out, and come up to a forward fold. Heel toe your feet a little closer together. You can keep them about hips distance apart, and you can always keep the knees a little bit bent. Take an inhale, find a halfway lift, get long through the spine, gaze forward. Exhale as you fold. Let yourself take a deep fold. Let's take two more. Inhale, long spine. Exhale as you fold. One more. Inhale, long spine. Exhale as you fold. As you're folded, step your left foot back to a lunge. Grab one of your blankets. Give yourself some padding for your knee. And then you can wiggle your right foot a little more forward, sink low. Wake up your left hip flexor. You can wiggle around. If you want a little wide lunge, bring your hands to the inside. Let it become a little bit of a lizard lunge. You can lift the right toes. Feel free to wiggle around, twist around, move in and out. And then if you're in this wide lizard lunge, you can bring it into a wide half split. If this doesn't feel right for you, bring your foot back towards center and let it be a regular half split. We'll keep it a little wide for the moment. Reach your chest forward as you inhale. Keep all of that length as you sink in. Give yourself a moment to move around. Nothing has to be still, nothing has to be static. And then we'll inhale, halfway lift. As we exhale, I'm going to swivel to the side, coming into a bit of a lateral lunge. The base of this posture is similar to a gate pose. My right foot is secure to the ground. Toes point in the same direction as my fingers. And then my left toes moved across toward the left side of my space. Take an inhale, find a cow pose here. On exhale, round for cat. Just explore, putting a little emphasis in your right inner thigh for the moment. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more. Inhale. And exhale. And then while we're hanging out here, if your left knee can handle this, I'm going to extend my right leg a little bit longer. See if I can sink back. Sitting back toward my left heel, crawling my fingertips a little more forward, keeping my right foot secure to the ground. Feel this out for a couple rounds of breath. Take it easy on yourself. You don't have to go to your deepest expression right away. 2 more breaths while we hang out here. You can always stack your forearms and rest your chin. Take 1 more breath. Start to find your way back to your palms. Crawl forward. Now tuck your left toe. We'll come on up, lift onto the heel of the right foot, and let's walk ourselves back and settle into another lunge here. I'm on the ball of my left foot, so a bit of a pyramid variation. Right now I'm pressing the sole of my right foot toward the ground, opening up the top of the right foot. And then we can move in and out of a lunge a little bit. Sinking low, lifting the hips, flex your toes to your nose. Repeat this as many times as you need. And then we'll slide into the lunge. Ease your weight over the right ankle. Lift the left leg, and we'll come into a standing split. But we're going to peel the top hip open, almost like you're about to go into a half moon. Flexing the left foot very strongly, pressing through the heel, opening up in the back of the right leg and a little bit in the inner thigh. You can always bend the knee if you want. If that gives you a little more leverage to peel open, do it. And then square the hips, hang out in a standing split, take a breath or two. You can always take little squats if you need some movement to take the pressure off and to start to open up. When your right leg has had enough, bring your left foot to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale as you fold. Get ready with your blanket. Step your right foot back. Lower the right knee to the blanket. Wiggle your left foot a little forward. Sink into a lunge. Check out your right hip flexor. And then you can bring your hands to the inside of your left foot. Feel free to turn it into a bit of an active lizard. Lift your left toes. Your knee can move out to the left. Feel free to wiggle around. And then bring your left knee towards center. Start to draw the hips back. Flex your left toes toward the sky. Turn it into a wide half split. Inhale as you lengthen through the spine. Exhale as you fold. You can move in and out if it feels pretty intense to hold. You can wiggle around in anything. Give yourself another breath just to feel this out. And then we'll pivot. Walk your hands off to the right side of your space. Secure your left foot to the ground. Hands are on the floor. Move through 3 cow and cat moments. Inhale. Exhale as the navel draws in. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, round for cat. Take 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Return to a neutral spine. Decide if your right knee can handle a little intensity. Sink back, toward your right heel. Keep your left foot secure to the ground. You can lower to your forearms. See if you can let everything relax rather than hold a lot of tension to hold your body up. So if you need one of your bolsters in this moment, get it. Rest on it. Or stack your forearms, bring your head onto your arms in the bolster. Sink in, give yourself a couple moments. One last breath. Bring your hands to the ground. Start to lift. Right hip is over your right knee. Tuck your right toe. Lift. Find the ball of the right foot. Lift your left toes. Let's pivot and walk back to the top of your space. So we're now in a higher lunge. I'm on my fingertips. I'll sink the hips to wake up the right hip flexor. And then lift. Straighten the left leg. Check out your hamstrings here. Again. You can lift the hips if you want that top of the foot stretch. Keep the sole of the foot pretty flat to the ground. Feel it out. Let's do one more round. And then return to a lunge. Slide your weight forward onto the left foot. Come into a standing split and peel the top hip open almost like you're about to take a half moon. Hang out here. Your neck and head can relax down. Just peeling it open, seeing what happens with your left inner thigh, your left hamstring. You can bend the knee. And then square the hips. Take the right leg high, move through some squats if you took that before. And then bring your feet somewhat together. Inhale, long spine. Exhale as you fold. Step the left foot back. We'll keep the knee lifted this time. Let's take a little moment through a low twist. Plant your left palm to the ground, reach the right arm high, hang out, take an inhale. And then lift your right toes. Spin to the knife edge of the right foot and the knife edge of the left foot. Reach to the back of your space. Feel out your right hip. If you need support, wrap your right arm around your outer right knee. Bring it back to your low twist. Take an inhale. As you exhale, right hand meets the left. We'll draw the hips back. I'm going to take it to a lateral lunge. So now my toes are slightly turned out. And I'm sinking in, putting focus on my right inner thigh. My belly is lifted, my spine is long, my chest is reaching forward. Travel side to side. Inhale through center. Exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale. Inhale through center. And exhale. From here, we can turn this into a skandasana, shifting a bit of the stretch to the hamstring, as opposed to only focusing on the inner thigh. Toes point to the sky. Inhale across center. Exhale. Inhale across center and exhale. Inhale through center. On exhale, walk it back to the top of your space. Find a lunge, step your feet together. Inhale, long spine. Exhale as you fold, step the right foot back. Coming into a lunge, plant your right palm to the ground. Left arm is high. Take a moment in a low twist. Inhale. As you exhale, we'll spin to the knife edge of both feet. Stay lifted and strong in your side body. Right shoulder away from your ear. Just feel out your left outer hip. Start to find your way back to your low twist. Take an inhale. As you exhale, left hand meets the right, swivel, and then we'll continue to move through either the lateral lunges or a skandasana. If you don't need your hands on the ground as you flow side to side, you're so welcome to hold them at chest center or get creative and playful with your arms as you flow. And then we'll flow back to the front. Swivel on the ball of the back foot. Coming into a lunge, step your feet together. We'll sit into a malasana squat again. Turn your toes out, heels in, get low, elbows to your inner thighs. If you have a little more space, maybe bring your fists together. Lift the chest, shoulders slide down, neck is long. Just a couple of breaths here. And then release. Bring your fingertips behind. We'll sit down. And we'll take an Baddha Konasana, a wide leg forward fold. And normally the emphasis isn't on making this as wide as a straddle split, but you can take this to the width that feels doable for you right now. So opening out, make sure that your toes and knees point to the sky. You can bring your fingertips to the ground and slide out. Bring your fingertips behind your body. Take an inhale, lift and open through the chest. As you exhale, start to crawl your hands forward. Keep checking in with your toes and your knees. Keep them pointed to the sky. And keep some length in your spine as you crawl forward. Here's another place you can grab your bolster, or a bolster and a blanket. Give yourself a little support. Keep checking in with your toes. Keep rotating. You can even give yourself some encouragement. Take your hands to your tops of your thighs and rotate open a little bit. Just a couple of breaths. When you're ready, ease your way up. Slide the bolster or pillow out of your way and bring your knees together. Take a moment, just curl into a little ball. All right. And then we're going to roll down and just do one sort of dance-related exercise to work in this realm. Having a smooth floor is nice in this moment. Get everything out of your way. Extend your arms out wide like a T. Keep your upper back and your arms and shoulders somewhat grounded. Let your knees fall to the left. Let your right leg trace the ground. And then back through center and other side. Just make sure your outer hips are a little awake. Just a couple rounds like that. And then we'll settle in at center. Bring your knees in and let's take a happy baby. I'll turn this angle. Stack your ankles over your knees. First, focus on lengthening through the spine. Really iron it out. Press into your feet as your feet press to the sky, and then see how it feels to extend one leg. And then the second leg. Back to center, maybe you take turns side to side, or maybe you open both. Feel it out. Don't force it. If it's too intense to try to hold onto your feet, you can hold to your inner thighs, flex your feet, press through your heels to the sides of the room. Encourage length. Take a moment here. Feel free to wiggle around. And then bring your knees back together. Start to roll onto one side. Press your palms into the ground. Bring yourself up to a seat. Find your blankets. We'll do a little floor frog, using a blanket for each knee, and then a bolster if necessary. Bolster will go in front so that you can lay your upper body down if it's needed. Bring the blankets close together. One knee on each blanket. Turn your toes out. Be ready to support yourself with your upper body. Bring the bolster down so it sits at your low belly, and then start to slide. You can hug the bolster. Your knees are in alignment with your hips, and then your ankles are in alignment with your knees, and your toes turn outward. You can rest on the bolster. If you don't feel like you need it, you can slide it away and rest on the ground. Just check in. See where your hips are sitting. If you want a little more intensity, slide your hips back. If you want less intensity, slide your hips forward. But we're here for the intensity, so I'm going to slide my hips back. Try to sit in and just breathe here for a little bit. When you've had enough for this round, go ahead and bring your hands to the ground. Bring yourself up, and if you have a smooth floor you can slide on, you can just slide your knees back. Just be mindful of your kneecaps. If that's not possible, tuck your toes and press yourself up into a little short weird down dog. Use that to get off the ground. And then we'll take a moment and just sit to our heels, taking the pressure off, letting everything kind of relax. And then once again, have your bolsters ready. You can have one, you can have two, you can have a stack of blankets, you can have a small child or a fluffy animal, whatever you want to hug as you lower into your straddle splits. Keep blankets available if you want them. And here we go. We're going for the full deal. I'll start with 2 blankets so that I can show you how that works. I'm going to just lengthen my upper body pretty much from mid-belly on up over the bolsters, giving good support from my upper body. My wrists are in alignment with my shoulders. I'll start to slide in and then let the bolsters catch my upper body, and I can hug the bolsters, sink in. I can keep the soles of the feet connected to the earth. And then depending upon your flexibility, you can go with less bolster action. Give yourself good support if you need it. I'm still trying to bring the soles of the feet slightly toward the ground, putting the focus on my inner thighs. Keep hugging your bolster or cushion, or work with none of them, and start to crawl out and lay yourself belly to nose on the ground. It's not going to happen in one day, but it's a place to start. Once you're pretty close to the ground, if you want, you can come up to sit. Turn your toes to the sky or point your toes if you're working on having pretty toes for dance purposes. And then you can work on getting into your line in this way. One hand in front, one behind, sit up. Elegant toes or energized flex feet. Engage your low belly. Lengthen through the spine. Find some balance. Take a few rounds of breath at every stage. And then when you're ready to come out of it, if you're resting on a bolster, start to walk your hands in. Bring yourself up. And then let's bring the soles of the feet together. We'll finish with a little Baddha Konasana. Super loose Baddha Konasana, or you can bring your fingertips behind, lift your hips, start to wiggle forward and back. And then settle in at your depth. We'll take this one rounded with an inhale, lengthen through the spine. On exhale, draw the navel in, round, bring the crown of the head toward your feet. With an inhale, start to curl up. On exhale, close your knees. And go ahead and grab one of your bolsters. Slide it under the backs of your knees. Let your feet go wide. And give yourself a little rest moment. Take a little Shavasana moment. Extend through the arms. Take up space. Close your eyes. Give yourself a moment just to chill out. Any part of this practice can be repeated over and over again. You can take a little more time with every lunge or every skandasana or floor frog. Consistent practice will be the key to progress. Thank you all for joining me. Namaste.